Y'all are so predictable, it's not even funny. I knew this was coming. I was literally waiting for a comment like this. Why are you generalizing? The funny thing is, I made a whole ass video explaining why it is what it is. That once you put on the uniform, you are serving a racist system. You are serving a system that keeps on enforcing oppression, and therefore you help enforce that very same oppression. It doesn't matter who you are personally. It doesn't matter who you are besides your job, in your free time, in your life as a civilian. It doesn't matter who you are as a person. Once you put on the uniform, you are serving oppression. You are enforcing oppression. I don't know why that's so hard to understand. But normally, I'm not the type of person that will answer a question with another question. But since I've given you a rundown of why it's all cops, let me ask you a question. Since you said they are also good cops, right? I want you either stitch this video, or if you don't want to make a video, fine, write me in the comments. How many good cops can you name? And with good cops, I don't mean cops that do the bare minimum, just basic, decent human beings. I mean, by good cops, and let me be very clear, I mean cops that call out other cops for being racist, being Islamophobic, being sexist, being misogynistic, being whatever oppressor they can be. How many good cops can you name? If you like, you can bring the source out from Google. I would appreciate if you can bring out the source from Google where a police officer came out and said, I want to report colleague 102, 103 and 104 because they abused a black man, they abused a woman, they were sexist, they were racist. This is the instance, this is when it happened, this is the time when it happened, this is where it happened. How many cops can you name that have blasted their co-workers for being racist or for being oppressors in generally? One more time, okay? How many cops can you name that had the guts and stepped out and came forward and said, I want to report this colleague and this colleague and this colleague and this co-worker and this supervisor because they have been racist or they have been oppressive in whatever way? How many can you name? The problem is you can't name any, because if it happens, they will lose their job, which means they are good people and they are good police people. But that furthermore proves my point in the system being racist, inherently and generally racist, that when someone speaks out against racism, they are being fired, they are being removed from the picture instead of the actual predator and the actual problem to be eliminated. The person that called out the problem is being eliminated, which then means, yes, that person is a good cop because they did not enable the racism, they did not enable their co-workers, but the problem is still the system. And how many of those cops that have lost their job because they called out their co-workers have taken further legal steps? Because you calling out your co-worker then losing your job is not enough. Because if you know that you've reported wrongful doings, you've reported racism, you've reported sexism, whatever, and you as a result of that lost your job, it's not enough for you to stop there and be like, well, I tried. Because why didn't you go to the media? Why didn't you go to social media? Why didn't you make it public? Why didn't you press charges? Why didn't you go further? Why didn't you take a lawyer? Why didn't you fight that wrongdoing the way you should? And that's where it all ends. That's why there are no good cops, because the ones that are not actively doing the oppressing are enabling the oppressors. So it's either you are an active oppressor or you are an enabler, both of which is part of the problem. So I don't really know what you don't understand here. So that being said, it's all cops. It's all cops. By the way, also the same way it's all white people.